Hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. Well, it's fall, means it's going to be getting cold pretty soon. Here in southwest Georgia, we've got some low 40s. So I'm trying to get ready for the cold weather. And I've got the lights set up in the chicken pens I'm going to show y'all. I've got Sparky's light ran over, plugged in, and it's working. So I've got to go buy one more to put in here because I changed it from the light that used to be in here to a receptacle so I could put the thermocube on it. Let me pull it out. If y'all can see that, it's hard for me to see it, but it on at 35, off at, oh my goodness, it just says on at 35, and then it's got Celsius number there. But anyway, I think it's 35 to 45. It cuts off at 40 or 45. But so whatever you plug into it, it will bring on when it gets below 35 degrees. So I'm gonna put one of them little clamp lights in here that you're gonna see in the chicken pen and Sparky's doghouse, and it'll, when the well gets below 35, it'll bring the light on for heat and warm the well up. So on the outside, I also put a receptacle on the outside, and I've got a weatherproof cover, but with the thermocube, the cover is in the way. So I just didn't put one on there. It's under the overhang. It'll be all right. So I put a thermocube there, and the chicken lights are plugged up here, and Sparky's is plugged up here. So I'm going to unplug them from there for just a second. Let me pause this. All right, as you can see, I've got them both plugged in. I just got the thermocube sitting there right now. So Sparky actually has a black light in his. Puts off good heat, and it doesn't brighten up the whole thing. But as you can tell in there, his is on. And it'll warm up that doghouse really good. If it gets above 45, he comes out of there, it's too warm. So that works well for him. And I've got it ran down to the back here, and I've got a 3-prong adapter, a 3 receptacle adapter back there, so I can plug in 3 different lights to it. But I've only got 2 in it right now. The turkeys don't have one. And that's another thing I've done. Japan Ham commented about moving them, and that's actually not a bad idea. So I moved the chickens. I put all the chickens in the middle and the end, the fruit orchard end, and then put the turkeys up here in the first pen. And he called it the small pen, but it's actually about the same size pen wise inside. It's bigger than the last one, but I don't have a turkey roost in there, so they'll just have to get by until I get a higher board for them to roost on. So that's not a big deal. But I did take the light from there and move it to the middle pen. So as you see, it's mounted clamps to the rafter. You have to have a standard bulb, and I know we don't sell them anymore. But as a prepper, I had bought about 30 of them before, maybe more than that, before they were gone. So I've got probably enough to go through a couple more years. But this is all I use them for, is for heat. So there'll be one in Sparky's house, one in the well, one in the turkey pen, one in this chicken pen. So they can all roost anywhere in that area and have plenty of warmth. And I showed y'all this last year, but my ex used to love going thrift shopping and stuff. I did it every now and then. But she found this big old aluminum light fixture, like somebody would hang in their kitchen or something, I don't know. But I put a bulb in there, and since it's aluminum, it reflects the heat down really well, and it's big. It's twice the size of them others. But it'll warm up all this area, and the heat will roll out of it to this top roost if that's what they want to do. So that'll keep them from getting too cold. And like I say, a lot of people put a light on their chickens in the fall and winter when the days are shorter to help them lay more eggs. I do not do that. I put a light in here for heat. That's why they're on the thermal cube. It brings it on when it gets below 35 and it turns it off when it gets back up to 40, 45, somewhere in there. And that way, I'm just not turning the light on, leaving it on when they don't need it. Because in South Georgia, it'll drop down to 25 tonight and then 60 during the day. You know, pretty close. But as you can see, I ran the cord all the way down. I hanging on that little board I screwed up. And it's got the 3-prong adapter on it. And I plug in both lights. And there's one more plug-in that I can do for the turkeys. So I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do one with the turkeys. For the simple fact that turkeys normally live outside and the cold doesn't bother them as much. And I'm not trying to get a bunch of eggs out of them like I am my chickens. I don't want them to freeze to death. So I moved all of Sue and his Rhode Island Reds and the two Easter eggers that wanted to be over in here with him, and they've all seemed to be getting along pretty good. So that way, if I leave this last pen locked up, I can open this gate and allow Sue and them into the fruit orchard to graze grass and bugs. And, you know, theoretically, I could rotate one pen one day, one the next. But, right now, the pen that's giving me a couple eggs a day, which is those hens that are in there that I got from Matt, they go to roost first. They're the ones laying, I'm getting basically 1 to 3 eggs a day. Most of the days I'm getting 2. So I got 1 yesterday, I got 2 today, and then I get a 3 every now and then. But they're the ones laying, so I want to give them the fresh grass and able to scratch more than I do the Rhode Island Reds. They've still got probably 2 months, maybe 3, before they start laying. So he also mentioned the nesting boxes. I've got 2 more ordered, and right now, according to tracking, they're in Jacksonville, Florida, and that usually means 2 to 3 days before they get to me. So I've got 2 more coming, and I'm not going to put them in that last pen where the turkeys are because they can't fit in them anyway. I'm going to add them to the middle pen, so there'll be 3 in the middle pen and 2 in this last pen, and eventually I may add a 3rd one to the last pen, depending on, you know, how much the chickens are laying and if they're filling it up and all that. And eventually I'll add a few to the last pen because it'll end up getting more chickens as well. So it may not be a whole bunch. There may only be 4, 5, 6 chickens in there with a rooster, but there will be some hens in there. Eventually the Easter eggers, when they're laying and laying properly, all 5 of them are going to go in with the turkeys and the rooster that I'm supposed to get from Matt. Excuse me. So that'll give me the Easter eggers in the first pen, Rhode Island Reds in the middle pen, and the black sex links in the last pen, with my few little barnyard Rhode Island Reds that I hatched. I'm thinking 1 or 2 of them's going to end up being a rooster, y'all. And if it is, then, you know, they can grow up, be a rooster, and I'll put them wherever I need to, because, and he said something about Sue being old. Y'all, Sue is about 3 weeks younger than Junior. I hatched them both, was it last year? They're no more than 1.5 years old. So a rooster will fertilize eggs up to 5, 6 years old. So I'm not planning on, I don't know why they're acting up in there. I'm not planning on butchering them anytime soon, especially Sue. He's going to live out his life until he's too old to do anything and be happy. But, you know, when the roosters get that old, they're really not good for anything but maybe making chicken pot pie or something. You boil it and make it, because the meat just gets tough when they get old. But that's the plan. So there'll be Easter eggers in the first pen, Rhode Island Reds in the middle pen, black sex links in the last pen. And if I ever add more chickens, then of course I'll add them into those pens. But that's the idea. So I wanted to do a video. I really was doing the video to show y'all that I'm getting their lights put up on those thermal cubes. You can get them on Amazon. They're not that expensive. You know, of course, it's Amazon now. That's going to take you 2 weeks to get anything when you're paying for Prime. That's why I canceled my Prime last month. If I'm paying for Prime and it took me 12 days to get my last order, and I'm supposed to have been Prime. Okay, I'm not paying for Prime if it takes 12 days to get it. I can order it from Temu, the same thing, because y'all know everything's made in China. I can order the same thing from Temu and get it in 15 to 20 days and not cost me anything. So why pay Amazon? Y'all, we're giving Amazon too much power in our lives. So, anywho, I wanted to do a quick video and show y'all. So today will be the first night that since I've moved them. I don't think I'm going to have a big problem with it. I think the chickens are just going to go to roost. There's be a few that want to walk the fence line and stuff, but when it gets dark, they're going to go in there with the ones that have roosted in there before, which would be Sue and the 2 Easter eggers. They're going to go in there with them and get on the roost. All there is to it. The Rhode Island Reds will learn fairly quick that this is their new pen and that's their new home. So one of the screws that I was holding that nesting box up, the rollaway nesting box, somehow came out. So I've got to get my drill and remount that. But I do not have a hen in this pen, even the Easter eggers. None of them have started laying yet. So I've got 5 Easter egger hens, 15 Rhode Island Red hens, and 10 black sex-linked hens. None of them are old enough to lay. Oh, and the 3 barnyard mixed Rhode Island Reds over there. So the only ones I've got laying are the 3 that I got from Matt. Out of all those chickens. So come springtime, they'll all should be laying, and I'll need those extra nesting boxes that I plan on ordering and putting up. But right now, I just don't need them because they're not laying anyway. And if they do start laying, they will lay on the ground just as good as they will that rollaway nesting box. I just have to pick them up. So it's not a really big emergency for me to have them right now. And if I can order them from Temu for half the price of what Amazon is selling them for, and it's the same doggone nesting box, why not save money? And I know I'm not a Temu fan, but I can tell you I buy a lot of stuff from them because it's cheaper. So I'm very picky about certain things that are critical. I'm going to order it from a US made company if I have the option, no matter what it costs. But some things that aren't so critical, you know, a rollaway nesting box is not something that's critical. I can always put the wood boxes back in there and they'll lay in them. So if I can buy them, you know, for $25, $30 a piece, or 3 of them for $55 versus Amazon 100 and something, I'm going to get them from Temu. It just takes an extra week or 2 to get them. So just telling y'all, I mean, I'm just being honest about it. And Temu's, you know, there's guy at work's wife works for Amazon. She works from home as Amazon support. So if you call in for customer support, she's one of the people you would talk to. And he hates Temu. He says they're losing money on every sale. Well, you know what? They're a big company. They're worldwide. They sell worldwide just like Amazon does. So why am I worried whether they're losing money when they sell something? If that's what they want to do to get people to shop with them, hey, I'll take advantage of it and save some money. And that's what I'm doing. So I encourage y'all to do the same thing. But I'm going to get off here, guys. I got to go unplug those lights because I don't need them on. And I'm going to put them back into the thermocube. And that way, in the next few weeks, we will probably have some, excuse me, some pretty cool nights. The lights might come on and they might not. But either way, I don't want my chickens to freeze to death. So I'm going to go ahead and get them set up now so I'm not out here when it is 32 degrees trying to get their lights to work. Now I know they all work. We're good to go. And bring on the cold weather. It'll be fine. Y'all remember what I always tell you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.